And welcome, episode 129, Red Leaf Retrocast, gaming podcast. Joey, Colin, I am JD. I'm excited for this one, actually. Really excited.
Do tell.
Well, I get to talk about a new game that I bought and I've been playing. I get to talk about my new gaming setup that I spent a trip to IKEA going to and getting an actual gaming shelf set for the first time in my life. You know, nerd shit, but shit I've wanted to do. Shit I've been wanting to do for the last 10 years since I graduated college. And I finally got my own place, and that was always the goal. Get my own place, and then I can make my video game cave, and I could expand it and go from there. And Joey, you've seen a picture already. Colin, have you seen a picture?
I have not.
Okay, so in real time,
looks good, but it doesn't look complete. You need the backlighting.
Okay, it is certainly far from 100% complete, but the frame and layout is there. Do you agree with that, Joey?
Yeah, it's almost there. You just need some mood lighting.
All right, so I'm putting this in the Discord chat, and I've already posted these online before, but here we go. All right, Colin, gonna get your live reaction. Okay, buddy?
As soon as I see it.
There you go. Post in Discord.
Ah, sweet. That's some AVGN shit right there.
Yeah. So the trip to IKEA was one of my jokes is you've officially become an adult when you actually own a house. You know, I'm not saying owning a car is like being an adult, like a house, a mortgage, like those kinds of things, adult things, right? And now I say I'm officially getting old because I had fun going and being at a place like IKEA. Because I'm looking at layouts of the showrooms, oh man, that's a good idea. I think I could do that too. Or oh man, I don't know if I'd put it like that, but not to mention these couples behind me talking about they've watched the latest season of HGTV. It's if we knock down this wall, we could really use the space at 500 square feet. Shut up, you guys don't know.
I just gotta go to Home Depot.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
but
that's where the fun's really at. Home Depot and Lowe's.
Well, I've already done all those things. I put the new floor in the basement, completely ripped out the 1970s carpet. Well, that was the big thing. I got a host of tools. I've remade bedrooms. I'm doing all the stuff, and then in the meantime, building up the gaming stuff. And it's you got to save the money. It's taken a couple months to do it, and I got the two CRT. I'm going to describe it for the people, but I got two CRT TVs. One's a tube and one's a flat screen. They're underneath a floating shelf on the wall that's below. The floating shelf is below my 65-inch QLED TV that I'm very proud of. HDMI 2.1, by the way, for the PlayStation 5, which I finally got hooked up to this thing. Okay.
Okay.
That's a story in itself. I'll get to in a second. I got the Atari, Sega Master System, NES, and PlayStation under, and then to the right, I have a 4x2 cube shelf where I have all the consoles laid out, and then I have a lot of the PlayStation consoles, the rest of them, and Nintendo Switch on the floating shelf. So everything fits very well. I like the aesthetic to it all. That was what I had in my head, and when I saw it all in IKEA, I was like, that's what I want. So I went there for a couple other things, but I left with what I thought wasn't possible, because those floating shelves usually are much skinnier. This one's wide, so I was able to actually fit the consoles on there. That was always the big worry. Then for all the cartridge games, I got the Billy Bookshelf deal. It's very popular at IKEA. It can hold the weight, and it's more durable than your kind of Plastaware that Walmart sells. But I still got a couple more shelves to buy. The in eventuality Obviously, I'll completely change all the lighting, get some LED type stuff that Joey mentioned, for sure. I still got to put up like posters and stuff along the walls, and get a couple more bookshelves too, so I can actually put a lot of the game discs on the shelves. So that's the eventual goal there. So.
Cool.
Still ways to go, but everything's hooked up. Now the PlayStation 5, as I discovered, because I've been kind of playing it on my I've been playing it on my 32-inch Samsung that I've had for like a decade now. Well, so I got this splitter, right, where I can plug like 4 consoles in at once and just turn it on and it switches automatically. Cool thing, right?
Very cool.
With the new TV, which the HDMI 2.1 and the 4K capability, I was trying to figure out why the splitter wouldn't work anymore with the PS5. Well, it's because the TV won't recognize the PS5 wanting 4K output, but it's going through a 1080 splitter. So I'm like, oh, so I got to hook that up directly, and then all the other HDMI type consoles can go through the splitter now. So that was like a thing that drove me nuts. I was like, why won't you work? Because I thought I needed a special HDMI cord for it to recognize 4K. Know what I mean?
Okay.
This all makes sense to you guys? Joey? Colin?
Oh, I've got a splitter myself for all my older consoles, but I have to push a button to get each hooked up to the TV. It's like 4 different buttons for 4 different inputs.
Yeah, I feel you. But for the sake of wire management and controllers, on my old setup, I had everything plugged in, and it was like a nest of wires in the back. So to kind of prevent that, I got the wires from all the other consoles kind of in a cube storage thing off to the side. So. And not everything plugged in at once is kind of good, actually. You just kind of go off to the side, get your cords that you need, everything's labeled, and then you can just quickly plug it in and go. I love it. I was playing. I tested everything out. Everything's working fine. I had to literally replace 2 plugs in the house because they weren't working properly. So electrician stuff. So I'm very excited. Everything's set up, and then I bought a new game the other day. I've been playing it off and on all week, and I'll talk about that in a second. But I've been talking long enough. Joey, it is your theme pick today.
Yes.
What you got?
Crossover.
Okay. Why and what does that mean?
Mainly because I just wanted one of the games on the list, because I know our viewers will love when we play more modern retro games. So one of them's from 2008. So I just wanted to get that in there. So to make it work with the other game, crossover, it's going to be people from different franchises meeting up.
Okay. Cool. So, Colin, Joey, what have you been playing? Anything in the news catch your eye? What's going on?
I've been playing Returnal, although I'm probably going to stop. I think I've gone as far as I can.
Okay, so I actually booted that up a little bit and did a couple runs myself. I had so much trouble getting past the first boss this time around.
It took me like 50 kills to get past him the first time.
So, Colin, for you don't know much about Returnal, do you?
I just know it's like a sci-fi roguelike. You're like time looping shooter. On an alien planet.
It's like a Souls bullet hell roguelike.
Yeah.
Kinda, yeah. I was actually these latest runs. I was really comparing it to if Metroid Prime was a roguelike game.
Oh yeah. That sounds pretty cool.
What do you think, Joey? My off custer on that?
Makes sense. I just think that I'm too casual to continue playing it. You really have to put a lot of work into it, or just be naturally good at it, which I am not.
Have you thought about putting on like a high end auto assist aim?
Oh, I did.
Okay.
It still doesn't matter. Like,
okay.
especially because the runs, especially in the secondary runs, can get up to like an hour long. Like I can't get that many runs in a day, so it's more about practice and repetition and learning the move sets of the enemies. And I don't have enough time to spend it to be good at the game.
Okay. I do like how quickly the game progresses in a story sense, and what tools that permanently stay with you. You know, so that way the runs become like, in order to get to that next area, your runs progress a lot faster. In that sense, you don't have to, like, instead of going through the full level 1, you only have to go through a quarter of it, and then you get to where you want to be much faster. So your permanent upgrades help out, and I do like the design of the roguelike and progressing through levels. I do like that, but it is definitely fucking hard in the way. It even has a disclaimer at the start that's like, this game is supposed to be challenging. Deal with it. Yeah. So how far did you get, Joey?
I got to the second boss once and died in the second stage.
Okay.
No, I think I made it to the third stage. Yeah, third stage, and then I died, and I haven't been back. I kind of took a break after that.
Yeah. How long would you say you've put into it?
Well, since I didn't have internet for a week, that's the only thing I really could do. So probably put about 20 hours into it.
I'd say you got your money's worth for sure.
Well, I didn't have to pay for it. It was on PlayStation Plus.
Yeah,
so.
well, okay. You definitely got your money's worth. It was free. Sort of. Well, I mean, you pay for PS Plus, but yeah.
Which is why I'm also okay walking away from, because I didn't buy the game. So.
Well.
Okay.
Did you have fun with your time at least?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It got frustrating. Usually in the beginning, I would do runs until I got frustrated and stopped, and then take a break and come back and do runs. But it's hard, at least for me. I found it very hard. So
there was a run I did the other day, because I had to put this other game down that I can't wait to talk about, which I keep putting off. But I did a run the other day, and I suspended my run. I mean, I was like on the third boss. I was doing so well, and my power went out temporarily.
Oh.
And I went, no.
Yeah, that's one thing I don't like. I know a lot of people complain about. You can't save.
No, there's no save. It's by design. I do not like that.
Yeah, it's one of the weakest things to be able to save, because runs can go forever. So either you need to commit or just be okay with losing your run.
Yeah, I mean, we've had some bad rainstorms here, and it was just, it wasn't even like my power just turned off and turned back on. Like, that was it. I just went, fuck. Because it happened while I was at work, and then I came home, and you see the microwave blinking. You're like, shit. I know what that means.
You should get yourself a battery backup just to play this game.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Is that
generator?
Yeah, is that the only thing you were playing, Joey?
Played some Satisfactory.
Yep.
When I had internet. Yesterday I was at my sister's, so I was playing the Nickelodeon Mario Kart type game on PS5. That was actually a lot of fun. I was playing as Chucky, because you get to play as all the Nickelodeon characters.
The game's not too bad.
Actually, it was a lot of fun. I'm thinking about getting it because there's challenges. There's a lot of things to unlock. There's a lot more different skills than just like Mario Kart. So I don't know. It was fun. I might get it. But yeah, that's all I've been playing.
The Nickelodeon PS5 game. We'll look this up.
Yeah, it's like so I think it's the third one. It might be just PS5. Nickelodeon Kart Racers. It's on Nintendo as well.
Well, there's All-Star Brawl.
Yeah, the newest one is Nickelodeon Kart Racers 3 Slime Speedway, which came out in October of last year.
Wow. Okay. Kart Racer 3. Okay.
Like you got All Real Monsters, Avatar, Cat Dog, Vader Zim, Jimmy Neutron, Rugrats, like Rocco. You got all the classics.
You can get it used on GameFly for $25. Or brand new at Walmart for $40.
Gamefly's still around?
Yeah, online. Do stuff, yeah. Maybe not in Canada.
I just haven't heard any chatter about them at all in the past few years. I knew they were all the rage for a while back in like 2000s, but 2010s, but nowadays I don't hear a peep.
Let's see. It's got a score of 70 on Metacritic, a 6.4 user score with only 5 ratings. So this game has definitely flown under the radar.
Yeah, I didn't hear about it until my brother-in-law was like, "You want to play it?" I'm like, "Okay." And it surprisingly was fun.
How would you compare it to like Crash Team Racing or Mario Kart? Basically the same?
Yeah, there's just I don't know about the skills on Mario Kart, but you have a slime meter that you fill up by driving through slime, and then you have something you can press, at least on the PS5, press triangle to do a special, and you can change that out. And then you also can get like 2 support type characters, which I honestly didn't know. I didn't look too much into it. There's also different,
kind of like Double Dash in a way.
I guess the special can be different things. So when I did one that was like the big mouse from Rocco, and they would shoot out a tongue, and if it hit someone in front of me, I would get a boost. Other ones could be more like defensive, so it depends on how you want to play. And then you don't just get
He cut out.
Yeah, he cut out for a sec.
Yeah, we lost him. Wow. That was just bang.
Man.
He's gone. Oh, no.
I hate it when that happens.
I'm going to throw him in general chat. And I'm going to throw him back. Whoops. Oopsies. There we go. Joey, are you still here?
Muted? Oh, there he is.
Cannot hear him. This is a bummer. Right in the middle of talking about...
Oh, there he is.
Oh.
Can you hear me?
Hey, there he is.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know why. It just decided it didn't want to recognize my mic anymore.
Ah.
There it goes again.
Is it?
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay. Alrighty. Where did I drop off?
You draw... it's okay. Forget it. It sounds like a under the radar game.
Yeah,
I might have to look into. I might get it for my Switch, actually. That sounds like a good on the go type game.
There's cars and bikes, so they took that, and then you can make adjustments to the cars depending on how you want to drive it. So like different wheels and whatnot.
Cool. I like that. I'll have to keep this game in mind next time I go out. Colin, what's your story, brother?
Well, played quite a few games since the new year. Didn't get to talk about them last cast, but I finally finished Blossom Tales. Just had my game just sitting on my Switch for a long time, and then just decided one night I'm gonna finish this. And there's only the final dungeon left, and I beat it. For those who don't know, it's a Zelda clone. It's a little easier than regular Zelda, but a little more narrative heavy. But from that, I started playing a bit of Captain Toad Treasure Tracker and Professor Layton Mysteries.
I do enjoy those games. I do enjoy a good Professor Layton, and Captain Toad is... I really like puzzle games like that. That's why we've kind of had a puzzle theme on this cast a few times.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I forgot how long some of the story segments of Professor Layton games could be.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, small tangent. One thing I really don't like about the newer Professor Layton games after Last Spectre is that they made the character sprites into 3D outside of the animated cutscenes. And characters don't look nearly as good in that form. And for me personally, it destroyed a big part of the charm of the series. But that might just be a nitpick on my part. I beat Bendy in the Ink Machine. And
I think Markiplier's playing that game right now. I think. Is that the same game I'm thinking of?
Well, he has played it. I just don't know if he's still playing it.
Maybe is there sequels to it?
Yeah, one just came out recently.
Oh, maybe that's the one he's playing. Okay. All right.
Yeah, Bendy and the Dark Revival, I think it is.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of then. I just kind of threw it on the other night, just right before bed, and I fell asleep. That's why I was like, oh my god, I know what this is.
Yeah, I played the original game, and overall I enjoyed it. It really did scare me at points. I mean, I played it in the dark. If I had to describe it, it's like BioShock with Silent Hill 2 a little bit, and Five Nights at Freddy's 3 a little bit, with like an old style Disney aesthetic. So yeah, for horror game fans, I definitely recommend it. And I've been playing through God of War 2018, or as JD would call it, God of War Data Boy 2018 edition.
No, I'd call it Valhalla.
But yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. I mean, the epic scale of everything is captured really well, just like the previous games, and graphics are fantastic, voice acting is well done, and the combat is just okay. I mean, it doesn't really lend itself to the high-octane violence of the previous games. I mean, I get that's kind of the point since we're playing as an older, more tired-out Kratos, but still a bit disappointing. And the upgrade system reminds me a lot of Horizon Zero Dawn. I kind of liked that. And as far as how far I am, I've gotten just past the point where Kratos cuts the head off the tree guy at the top of the mountain.
Yes. All right.
So I look forward to seeing where that leads.
It's good stuff. God of War's really good. It's a really good franchise.
Yeah. You'll probably hear me talk about Ragnarok in the future.
Yeah, I have it. I still haven't played it. Shame on me.
Oh, you need to play it. I think New Game Plus is coming out soon.
Yeah, those are always modes I'm not really into. It's pretty rare that I give those a try. But anything else, Colin?
The past couple of nights, I revisited Trials of the Blood Dragon. I mean, that made me nostalgic-gasm so hard. So there's like so much 80s and 90s aesthetic to it. I was in just the right mood for that sort of thing. And it kind of makes me want to go back and play Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon properly this time. I mean, hell, Michael Biehn is actually voicing the main character in that one.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yep.
So it's definitely worth looking at again. And for those who don't know, with Trials of the Blood Dragon, it's if you've seen Trials Fusion or other trial biking games, basically that, but in like 2.5D. And every time you die, you get these 90s slang phrases thrown at you, like "not" or "you ate shorts." So yeah, if anyone's interested in just revisiting that time period, I recommend the game. And that's pretty much everything I've been playing.
Okay. So it's time. So you remember on the last podcast, we talked about kind of the outlook of 2023 in gaming.
Yes.
And we were kind of hoping that maybe a few of these games would turn out pretty good. And it would kind of be the big I don't want to say make or break, but indicator of whether Xbox or PlayStation would come out on top against each other, while I think Nintendo Switch is just going to straight up win this year with Breath of the Wild 2.
Okay.
So, Forspoken came out. Big PS5 exclusive. Brought to us by the what do they call Luminous Productions, and they're the ones that made Final Fantasy, they're Final Fantasy 15. Okay, so this game got torched in reviews upon release. Okay, just absolutely torched. However, I always pay attention to like key things in reviews where I could really decipher what they mean by it, of like what's good and bad in a game. And what I was kind of looking for is the game broken? Is the gameplay good? Aspects of games we all look for. And every single review, no matter what the score was the gameplay was good. Okay? Gameplay was fluid and solid and ambitious. Because for those that don't know, Forspoken is about essentially traversing this wacky terrain open world in this parkour fast style. So it looks really cool when you kind of see videos of it and other people playing it. And I can confirm that, yes, traversing the terrain is super fun and easy and fluid and smooth. Okay? And even the like battle system where you're pumping magic and they even have like running sequences and I call it super parkour because of how fast you do your activating magic and you're going, up, down, left, right, and you're going around towns, that kind of deal. All cool. I do like it. It took a while to get there, but got it. It's pretty amazing how polished like that aspect is. And I've been playing it on this is funny enough, this is like the first game along with Returnal that I've played on the 65-inch 4K television, and Returnal needed to be on the frame rate setting, while Forspoken I can kind of put on the optimum visual setting, right? The problem with this game is the plot. The plot is so bad, and I haven't gotten much into the like fantasy lore of the plot, but to go along with the plot is very, very cringe, trying to be too cool for school dialogue. Okay? The voice acting is pretty that is another thing that every review agrees with. The voice acting's terrible. And it's not the actual acting of it, it's the dialogue that they're forced to say. Okay? So the game begins. Okay. So you're like, oh man, fantasy game, traversing the environments with super parkour. I haven't really got to the point where everyone says perhaps the environments are kind of more barren than they should be. That was like a Breath of the Wild critique for a while there. Well, the beginning of the game, the first like 35-40 minutes, is you're in New York City, and you are this chick Frey, and she's in court, and she's committed all kinds of petty crimes, right? She steals this, steals that, breaks into this, breaks into that. Life's not fair. I'm an orphan, no parents. The whole deal. Boo hoo hoo. And it's just like going over her court setting. It's like, look at this paper, press this button, look at this paper. Oh, look at, she graduated once. Ooh. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, just what I wanted in my fantasy parkour game, a court hearing. Man, gets the blood pumping, right? So they let her go, and then you have to run away, and they nerf all the initial controls, so you just run. You don't really jump or anything, and it like with every tutorial interruption, you learn a new control to unlock. So you're just bombarded with interruptions of tutorials. Modern game issues. Sound familiar?
Oh boy.
Oh, I sure do love tutorials.
Yeah.
Don't we all?
Yeah, so she's escaping gang members, and then she eventually gets to her shitty apartment that has like no heat and everything's run down. She's got a cool Himalayan cat. That was cool, at least. But then Then she wakes up in the middle, you're going through the apartment, you're slowly looking at things. I'm like, where's the fucking game? Like, I'm just wandering around being sad, essentially. She wakes up from her sad state of affairs to her apartment on fire, and the gang found where she lives, and now she's got no home. All her money that she saved up is burned up because she was going to run away. Where? I don't know. And so she goes back to court, and she finds the judge, the woman judge, and she's like, take care of my cat. She's like, is something wrong? You really get the feeling like this woman's going to kill herself. Like, jump off the train tracks or something. Well, she sees this is all the beginning of the game. And I know, you must sound like, oh man, this game is awesome, right? Oh, what a start. So in a window, there's like a light, and she's kind of on the Holland Tunnel or some shit, and she's like, oh, what's that light? Breaks into this place, of course. She picks up this shining bracelet, and it transports her to another world. Yes, it's an isekai. And the bracelet is on her.
Necessary, apparently.
Oh my god. The bracelet's on her, she can't get it off, and the bracelet is a British dude talking. With like old style British sass, and she's got a New Yorker mouth, is how I'll describe it. She says fuck and cool shit and all kinds of things like that. She's very quick-witted and sassy, but the first time you learn magic is like the best dialogue example of she shoots magic out of her hands. She kills these like mutated bears, and she goes, did I just do that? Did I just unleash cool fucking magic out of my fucking hand? And the British bracelet's like, I kind of had something to do with that. No, I fucking have magic out of my hand. How cool is that? This is shit awesome. And I'm like, oh.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's the dialogue you're dealing with. That's the plot setup of her going to this fantasy world. And I'm just thinking to myself, was any of that necessary? Was the idea that we can relate to this orphaned New Yorker where times have fallen hard times have fallen? I don't know. Horrible start to a game. I do not recommend it. If you can somehow find a way to skip the first 40 minutes, do it. Just end up in the fantasy world where there's a fucking dragon, you're shooting magic out of your hands, you're doing parkour to try to avoid attacks. That's all cool shit. I haven't quite figured out how the battle system works, but you're also not... It's one of those battles you're not supposed to win at first either.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and then you're learning about these, like, 4 super witches, like, controlled the world, and they I guess they got pissed off, and they're all just causing mischief and mayhem, and you gotta fight them eventually. So, lot to unlock with this game that's getting torched in reviews. I believe it has let's see here. It has currently like a 60 on Metacritic, 65, somewhere around there. And even user reviews have it around like 65-ish. So everyone's kind of on the same page with this mixed reviews. But if I ignore the cringeworthy dialogue, and I kind of have fun with it, kind of like what I'm doing here now, the gameplay is gonna be the make or break is if I play this game or not. So, think maybe a little harsh on the game because modern games they're reviewed so much on their like story and plot over the actual game you're playing. And all I could think of when I was playing this was how I felt about Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Colin, if you remember.
Yes.
I hated the voice acting in that. Like, I put it in Japanese because I couldn't stand it so much. I might actually put the dialogue in a different language. I might enjoy that more. Right?
Yeah.
And which, you know what? It's a great idea. I'm going to put it in German, and I'm going to have fun with it that way. That way I actually, learn. I can keep up my language skills. But the gameplay was so good in Xenoblade Chronicles 2 that, kept me in it and traversing the world and everything. So that's what I'm getting out of Forspoken is like my Xenoblade Chronicle 2 vibes.
Cool.
Yeah, well, I think it also is getting some bad reviews because the high requirements for on the PC to play it. Like it's recommended you have like a 3070 at least.
Is that high? I don't know my computer stuff.
That's the last gen graphics card for NVIDIA. The 4000s came out last year, so it's pretty high recommendation.
Hasn't it been tough to get all those though?
Yeah, which is why other people are saying you're requiring graphics cards that have been way overpriced recently. So some people were upset about that.
Well, I mean, PS5s are in stores now. Like, there's finally stock I'm seeing as I go to stores. So that's at least something. And I mean, it's a PS5 exclusive when it's not on PC. So, like, that's how you're supposed to play it. You get the new gen, and there you go.
Yeah, and most of the negatives I see are the writing and voice acting, and that the main story apparently is very short.
Oh, interesting.
At least that's what one guy said. Gameplay, though, looks like it's generally liked.
Okay, I'm going to howlongtobeat.com. I love this little site here. Forspoken. Let's see how long this sucker is. 15 hours. That doesn't sound short to me.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what someone said.
Yeah, 15 hours. Okay. 15 hours sounds like a fucking great time. You kidding me? I love games that are between 4 and 12 these days.
So is Forspoken like third person or first person? Not quite.
Third person.
Okay. I thought maybe it was going to be something like Fantasy Mirror's Edge or something. But,
No.
I guess it's more like Assassin's Creed or something like that.
Oh man, you move so fast in the environment that I can't really say it's Assassin's Creed.
That's reminding me of something else, but I can't quite think. Probably not 3D Sonic.
Oh no, definitely not. Now that you mention it, if they made a Sonic game where you traverse the environment like this fast, I think that would work.
Yeah. I think they tried it with something like Secret Rings, but yeah, that didn't quite pan out.
Yeah. A Sonic game didn't pan out, right? Oh, no way.
I know. What a shock, right?
Well, wild. All right. That's my Forspoken initial thoughts. More to come in time, I am sure. Shall we get to our games of the podcast?
Yeah. Sounds good.
All right, let's do it. Playing the drop. Okay, so Joey, your theme pick. Let's. I think we still know why you picked it, but let's get into that first game. Let's do it. Let's go.
All righty. Well, I'm not going to do the first one listed. I'm going to do the second one first because I think we'll talk about it shorter. So let's do the quick one. Get to the one that you're probably going to talk longer about. So we're going to do a Wario Blast featuring Bomberman. Came out on the Game Boy in 1994. Developed by Hudson Soft and published by Nintendo, obviously. So it's Bomberman with Wario. Obviously. It's on Nintendo. It's published by Nintendo. This game actually was more fun than I thought it'd be.
Same.
I mean,
Same.
It's basic Bomberman, but I still had a lot of fun playing it.
Probably the first Bomberman game I ever played.
Really?
So I played it. Yeah, I played it way back when. I thought it was going to... I remember at the time thinking it was going to be like closer to Wario Land, but I ended up getting a Bomberman game instead. Not to say I didn't enjoy it.
Yeah, it was fun, and then I wasn't expecting so many worlds, although I only played up to the second one. There's 8 that you can play through, and you get more, I guess, abilities as you go further? Like you get the kick,
yeah,
the
I mean
bomb after
it's very much Bomberman with a wacky Wario gimmick to go with it. You have you have your overhead perspective of the field at play. You lay down bombs and you try to kind of blow everyone up. It's pretty simplistic from that sense. If you've played a Bomberman game, you kind of get the idea from the get-go of what to do. I questioned, like, okay, is Bomberman actually in this game at all? Like, to the point
Yes,
where I was
you
like, am I playing the right game?
Well, at the beginning, you get the choice to play either as Wario or as Bomberman. And if you play as Wario, all the enemies will be little Bombermans. And if you play as Bomberman, all the enemies will be little Warios.
So,
you play as Wario.
yeah, I played as Wario.
Yeah, I played as Bomberman this time around because I played as Wario way back when.
Okay.
I'm definitely not as good at this game as I used to be.
No, I very much suck at Bomberman games. Like, I don't really get the whole anticipation and blocking people in quick succession enough to be effective.
I ended up killing myself more often than not, though.
Yes, that happens all the time.
Yeah. I got at least 5 game overs before I even got to the first boss.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I got my first game over at the first boss.
Speaking of bosses, did anyone else find some of the boss designs a bit freaky?
Not really.
I mean,
not particularly.
For me personally, the third boss, which is like this teddy bear hanging from balloons, was a little on the freaky side because most of the battle he has this cute, innocent expression, but then he'll land on the ground to spawn enemies, and then his face turns into like this demonic bear face as he spits out the enemy. I mean, as a kid, it disturbed me, and it disturbs me even now. That's probably just me.
6 boss is creepiest to me. Just look at him sitting there on the ground, looking at you.
All right, I'll look
What's
at this.
He again?
Wario Blast.
Poku?
Well, I mean, like, what does he look like? I can't quite
Boy bosses.
He's just basically 2 circles and then like 2 legs standing out in front. Like,
okay, yeah,
basic.
I remember that.
He just looks like he's laying on the floor ready to attack you.
Yeah, I remember that. No pupils in the eyes.
Yeah.
Although,
explosion of earthquake proportions signals your victory. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the Wario dialogue is always kind of fun.
Yeah. Did anyone else really like the boss music, though?
Oh, the music was fun and good. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. I was surprised. I thought it would be annoying, but I actually enjoyed the music.
Yeah. I like playing the boss music on YouTube every now and again just for kicks. And I kind of liked the abilities you got as you progress through the game. Like, first level, you gain the ability to kick the bombs down the aisles, and then later you can dash, and then later you get a motorbike that you can jump over the solid obstacles with.
Yeah, even when I got the kick, I still forgot I had it, so I never really utilized it too much.
Yeah.
I used mastering the kick was like huge for me. I was like, oh yes, please. Because kicking it allowed finally for me to feel like I had an advantage over the enemies in some capacity, rather than a classic Bomberman game where you have to trap and use anticipation, which I've already expressed how bad I am at that. Yeah. I have always wanted to get the Bomberman game that's on the Saturn, where you can have like 8 players at once. The Sega Saturn. I've always wanted that one.
Too much, but good luck with that.
No, chaos. Embrace it.
I beat one level where there's 3 other Bombermen, and they all killed themselves, so I didn't have to kill anyone. Like, I was running around trying to get out, and I was like, where the hell is everyone? And then I went, I'm like, oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah. I mean, playing a game like this just made me kind of reminisce about all the Bomberman games that I do have in play. I think I have 3 different ones. So I'm trying to mostly compare to those, and is this a good enough game to warrant like on a handheld? And I was kind of mixed on that. I go, okay, if I was a kid and this game was like on sale, and with the like Wario aesthetic in Nintendo putting in a Bomberman, I think I'd be like, yeah, Mom, can I have that kind of deal? Maybe she'd say no, probably. But then if like I was more on the adult end, I don't think I'd get this game, especially when Bomberman already exists. I think that is a major kind of negative for Wario Blast. Does anyone else feel the same way?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. It's decent, but doesn't quite compare to something like Super Bomberman.
Right. And though I believe those were already out, so I just don't know what the true appeal of all this was in 1994.
Well, I mean,
I suppose.
It looks like it was just released as Bomberman Game Boy, so it was only Wario over in North America and Europe.
Yes.
So I don't know if they just tried to get Wario just to try to bring people in to play it. Maybe they didn't think Bomberman was enough.
I guess. Yeah, maybe.
It makes sense to me.
That would make sense.
Sure sold me. I mean, I spent all of the money I had to my name on the game at the time, but I was like 6, so.
Well, the game right now is pretty affordable at about $13 on the Game Boy. Obviously, the question is that worth it?
$13 now.
Yeah, I think it's a little too much.
I mean, you can play it online on an emulator.
Well, you can do that too, which is what I did.
Yeah.
Same.
I've gotten so much use out of my Ouya. With my PS3 controller hooked up to it.
Nice.
Yeah. So, I can't fail it because the game works. And I can't say anything's like truly bad about it. So I guess by default, I'm passing the game. But I can't say I would be excited to play more.
I mean, don't be afraid to fail it. I'm going to pass it. I think it's fun. But I don't really play Bomberman. But I can see your point of, is it worth it other Bomberman? Although, if you had to pay $13 for it, I would fail it. And I don't think it's worth $13. But if you can get it for cheaper or emulate it, I think it's definitely worth a try.
Yeah. At least the game used a password system. So you were always able to like go back to where you were. Colin, what about you?
Soft pass.
Okay. Next game.
For the super retro game, Super Smash Brothers Brawl. Came out in 2008, January 31st. So technically, I think we're 2 days before the 15 years. So whatever.
That's fine.
Developed by Sora Nintendo and published by. So it's a Brawl game. I don't really know much more to say. It'd probably be more fun with friends, but I don't think this is one of the more liked games in the series.
Well, obviously, the big critique is it's coming off of Smash Brothers on the GameCube. Melee. Okay.
Yeah, Melee. Yeah.
And Melee is regarded as the tippy top, right? The controller, the characters, the way the game flowed and played against the, character to character. With Brawl, you got the nunchakus. It's got the wacky Nintendo Wii-ness of it all. If that's a nice little verb to use there, a little adjective. So I don't have this like huge nostalgia for Melee. Okay. Never played these games super competitively. It's fun with friends. I mean, I played it in college, like getting drunk with friends every now and again. I mean, that was the thing. A couple people had their GameCubes and had this game, or had Melee. So when Brawl came out, God, yeah, I was in college when this fucking thing came out. My God. When this came out, everyone was just kind of like, okay, it's kind of the same, but Melee is still better because it was more in tuned, I guess.
Yeah.
And weren't ready to make the jump. But like by itself, like let's say that the Nintendo Wii sold way better than the GameCube. That much is like clear. So more people clearly had the Wii and had access. So when I'm thinking about that, and if your first iteration of the Smash series is Brawl, and you're introducing it to an entirely new audience, and you're trying a couple different things, but mostly keeping the game the same, you're adding a couple aspects here or there, a little, there was some side shit you could do. I know they had like little adventure mode deal that was all right.
Yeah.
But, I'm like playing this and I'm just looking at it and just thinking to myself, I mean, it's the same game. I don't think anything's wrong with it. It's fun. It's still Smash Bros. So am I on an island here saying that I really like this game? I don't see what the big deal is about the negativity with it.
I know it's not one of the most liked, but people still liked it. But,
yeah,
I mean, the franchise is still a like, but I think to me, it's one you can pass. You could play any other one unless you really want to complete the series. This one is not really necessary to play.
Yeah.
I mean, reviews across the board were really high for it.
Yeah.
But for me personally, I still liked Melee better because I found the controls are tighter, the hits felt more satisfying, and it doesn't feel as bloated with features, which for me personally became a problem with the later games. But yeah, my big issue with Brawl was the hits. They just didn't feel like you were really smashing enemies. You were just like punching punching Jello. That's the best way I can put it.
It lacked impact, is what you're saying.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. I could buy that. Yeah. If you're playing a fighting game and it doesn't feel like you're connecting, it's where like if you play Smash on the Wii U or the Switch, which is Smash Ultimate, that like both those games feel like you're impacting your opponent. You're really connecting with major hits and they fly across the yes. That is
exactly
a great fucking point, Colin. I didn't even like notice it. I was more on the like, what's the pro? You're right. Brawl does not have that.
Exactly.
The knockout was missing.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's not to say I didn't like the game overall. I remember it being the first Smash game to feature Sonic the Hedgehog and Solid Snake, and an actual story campaign.
Oh,
and who could ever forget that opening theme song? I mean, that was pretty iconic for a while.
Did the 3DS version come out with the Wii U game, or with
Wii U?
It was the Wii U one? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like the same game on both consoles. One said Smash Bros. For Wii U, the other said Smash Bros. For 3DS.
You're right.
That was kind of lame.
So did you guys stick with the single player little plot that they had? Because I think that's kind of where this game had its focus. It really wanted to give you the possibility of playing by yourself.
Yeah, I remember playing it way back when and beating it. So it was pretty fun.
Joey?
Yeah, I just stuck to single player.
Yeah.
I mean,
anyone beat it? Anyone get to who was the final boss? Was it Master Hand again or whatever?
I think it was Rob the Robot.
Rob the Robot? Let's see here.
Or at least
I've never seen the ending and I don't know the ending. Let's see here.
Okay. Yeah, I think Rob was
A squadron of
Yep.
Robs based on the classic Nintendo hardware. I guess it's a host of different ones. They created a bunch of original characters for this game, which I thought was neat. Because that's always something I criticize Nintendo for, is their lack of like introducing new characters and connecting them. That's why the Paper Mario series is kind of good for that, because they introduce characters unique to that game and the game series.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I'm not really seeing what the adventure mode ends with. Let's see here. Oh, that's right. There was like a fucking home run contest in this game because of the Nunchakus. I do remember that.
Yeah, there's also beat up sandbag. You
Yep, Street
take
Fighter.
the home run bat.
Yeah.
Take the home run bat and hit him as far as you can.
Okay. Who was the character everyone played with?
Yeah, I was just about to ask, who is everyone's main? It's the age-old question.
I just switched it up. I didn't stick to a main, but I didn't have a lot of time to play with it since I was out without internet for a while, so I couldn't acquire this game until a day or two ago.
Okay. I was Wario. I stuck with it. I was Wario
Nice.
in the first game we played. I'm Wario in this one. Usually I do Olimar from Pikmin. I'm always fascinated playing as him. I always have fun just chucking the stupid little Pikmin at everybody, but I stuck with Wario and his fat belly.
Yeah, for me personally, I mean, I've been playing these games since the beginning, since I always had friends. Whenever they had an N64, they always had Smash Bros. And same for the GameCube. So my mains have always been Link and Samus.
Okay. Yeah, classics.
Kind of,
Yeah,
it depends on my mood, which one I play as.
Nothing wrong with that.
I mean, I have a soft spot for Captain Falcon, Ness, and Donkey Kong, but Link
I
and
do
Samus will always be the most reliable for me.
I like playing with Kirby. I like sucking people up and jumping off the edge.
You like
Yeah, I
sucking
was
people?
gonna
Okay.
I was gonna say, I know I knew a lot of people who always played as Kirby, but
He's a super troll character.
Yeah, I never found him to mesh well with my style of play.
You got one life over your opponent left, and you just suck him up and jump off the sides.
Yep.
He's such a troll.
Although in Smash Ultimate, I found I really do like Simon and Richter Belmont.
Oh, dude, like all the Fire Emblem characters and the Castlevania characters rule. I love playing at them in the new Smash games.
Oh,
Yeah. Yep. So I'm gonna pass Brawl, but when I'm directly comparing it to even its previous games and the ones that came after, I think it's the weakest in the series. I do agree with that.
Yeah, I agree.
I just don't think the game is like bad by any means. Like not even close.
I'm gonna fail it.
You're
I don't
gonna
see a point
fail
playing
it.
this
All
one.
right.
Whoa.
Unless you want to complete the games, I don't see the point going this one. Just play Ultimate, play Melee, play Project M. I just don't think this one is worth your
Project
time.
M.
Project M. I've never heard of that one.
It's a fan creation of Melee.
Okay.
Huh.
They
Interesting.
they tried, I think, take the best from Melee and incorporate some of the stuff from Brawl. I think, if I remember
alright.
correctly. But they wanted to be competitive because Brawl wasn't too fun, if I remember correctly, in the competitive scene.
No.
So a lot of people
Everyone's
wanted-
stuck with Melee. Yeah.
So Project Melee was created, or Project M was created to kind of fill in that void.
Okay. Yeah, this does sound familiar now. Yeah. Well, I guess by that criteria, yeah, I can see why you'd fail it, Joey. Easily, actually. So, Colin, you're the deal breaker here. What you got?
Oh, I'm with you, JD. It is. I pass it, but it is definitely the weakest in the series.
Okay. Colin and I on the same page. It seems rare these days. Unless we all
really.
agree on a game, which is also rare. Okay, Joey, do you want to do the honors? It was your theme pick. What's your favorite, and what are your tier rankings?
I'm gonna go with Wario as my favorite.
Ooh.
I saw a lot of fun with it, but I'm giving them both Bs, even though I failed Smash. It's a good game. I just don't see the point going back to play it. But they got Bs for me.
Okay. Colin?
I give Smash a B. Give Wario Blast a C.
Okay. I'm actually giving both games a C based on kind of where they stand in the series and their sequels and predecessors to it all. You know, it's like, okay, I could just play Bomberman, or I could just play Melee or the game after it. In the retro sense, the games before it were still better, and most people think they're better. So both get a C from me, because I did enjoy both games, but they're not like breaking it. They're not breaking boundaries or anything. They're not improvements over the previous series. So
I can see that.
am I going to be a little bitch and just say it's a tie on both directions, pass and fail? Favorite and least favorite? I think I am. I think I'm just going to be like they both get the same. I'm very indifferent to them both.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So, but with the combination, that leaves Wario Blast a C and Smash a B. How about that?
Their first middling cast of the year.
Yeah, very middling. But our next episode is my theme pick. We're going back to Ninja Samurais. We're doing sequels. So I believe I did Ninja Samurai once upon a time. So we're going back to that because I really want to play these two games, and I didn't even realize I don't even own both these games we're going to play. So this is my first experience playing with them, and I really enjoyed the first one. So there's your hint to what those two games are. I'm quite excited for this next cast, actually, considering how much I enjoyed those first games.
Cool.
Yeah. And with that, guys, I guess I'll see you in 2 weeks. See you next time.
All right.
Bye.
Bye now.